If I was Joe Budden, man, look, y'all got me on this one. Y'all really had me on this episode. Look, I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this episode for a long time, but I never had that kick that I guess I needed to go ahead and do it. But y'all really gave it to me this time. Y'all really did. And you know what? A lot of times this is where the best material comes from is, when it's deep and when it's personal and when you like really feel it. So for those of you that don't know that, it's good. It's where good content comes from. But yeah, today is called If I Was Joe Budden. It's a saying. And because I'm so hype off of this episode right now, I got my notes and my handy dandy notes right here. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get right into it, right? So the question we always run into, as I told y'all before, is how did we get here? Like, Mario, how did you get to the point when you're telling people, if I was Joe Budden, and what does that even mean, right? So check this out. As everybody knows, I have a podcast. Clearly, I'm on it right now. I've been doing my thing going on 2.5 years, so it's not long. So that means there's a lot more room to grow. There's a lot more room for opportunity. You get the point. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, about 2 years and maybe some change, right? I asked people to get on the podcast. I may ask for things of people. Now remember, there's a lesson. This isn't me focused, but it definitely has to do with me. I've asked of things for people for the podcast, getting it started. Maybe I've asked people to get on the podcast, which is one of the biggest things. And you know what? A lot of people just don't take it that serious. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not saying necessarily that they doubt my progression or, whatever it is, but it's just plain and simple. They do not take it serious. Why? Because it's just Mario. Mario's just on the mic. He's just, he's just on the mic, just running his mouth. He's talking, he's doing his thing, whatever. It's nothing serious. It's just Mario. But what people do not understand is it's not just Mario. I have an initiative. I'm not on here calling myself Mario all the time. I'm the Pessimologist. It is the Pessimologist podcast. Now, it may not be a household name, as other ones would, as Joe Budden would be. Joe Budden walks in the room, everybody's like, hey, that's Joe Budden. It's the celebrity effect. You understand what I'm saying? Mario walks in the room, they're like, unless you know me, they're like, who's this guy? You understand what I'm saying? So this helps stir where the episode came from, right? It's because that's how people act. And the crazier part is it's the people you know, which makes it worse. When it's people you know, it makes the situation that much more worse. You understand what I'm saying? So, all right, so look, let's make sure we stay on track, stay where we're supposed to go. I have to follow my notes because if not, I'm going to go crazy on this episode. So let's keep it moving. So I just want to begin by saying, supervillains are created every single day. Every day. And it's for particular reasons like this. I mean, how else is somebody supposed... So here's the story about superheroes, right? So everybody knows who Superman is. Did anybody know who Clark Kent was when he was just, when he was a kid, when he was a teenager, just going to his private school? I don't follow comics and, Marvel, whatever, DC universe like that. So if I mess something up, Marvel fans, DC fans, get over yourself. But nobody knew him back then. Nobody knew him, when he was just on the way up. I guess when he first got his powers and he didn't know how to use it, nobody knew him. Nobody cared, right? But what if people would have been like, hey, bro, you got some super strength. You probably need to lift weights, or you probably need to, I don't know, do something else. What if people helped him gain his whatever early? He could have been super teenager. And then he could have grown into Superman instead of just being Superman later on in life, right? That could have been a great example. It could have been a terrible one. But this is what I'm saying. On his way up, he wasn't acknowledged. What if people would have just shot him down? Oh, man, you're trash. Or you're weak. Who cares if you're strong? Nobody cares. Oh, Superman. Oh, tell people I'm Superman. All right, sure. What if people did that, right? Superman could have turned into super evil man. He could have been somebody bad. And this is what I'm saying. People just hate to help other people. People just hate to support other people. And this may sound like it's very pessimologist Mario centered, but it's not. You know what? Surprisingly, my streams are actually pretty good. For me, just doing this for 2 years, my streams are actually pretty good. But you know what makes it worse? If I'm getting some, oops, look, I'm punching the mic again. I'm getting upset. You know what makes it worse is when you don't get support from the people you know. That is very upsetting. That is, it's a feeling you can't really explain because it's that disappointing. And that's the bigger message here. People need to stop trying to attach to something that is already gone and taken off and attach to the things that's on the way up, especially if you know about them. If you know the person that has this up and coming business or whatever it is, they're just trying to get it off, t-shirt business, Girl Scout cookie, whatever it is, support people. Because people love to come around when you made it. Oh man, do they love to come around when you made it. But not on the way up. Let me stay on topic, right? Let's talk about the purpose of social media. Because it's all relevant. It's all relevant, right? The purpose of social media is for things to be acknowledged about what you have going on, be it your life, be it your family, be it your business, be it your podcast, whatever it is. You are on social media because you want something that you are doing acknowledged. Makes sense, right? Well, it should, because that's the purpose. Think about it. If you had something that you didn't want anybody else to know about, you wouldn't put it on social media, right? But if you have something you want people to know about, you want people to engage with, you want people to acknowledge, you put it on social media. In an internet space where everybody sees it. Everybody sees it, right? What if you're posting your kid on there? Now, I know people, here's a crossroads, right? Because I know people do this. Here's a crossroads. I don't post for people to like it. When I post my kids, I don't care if anybody likes it. When I post my new car, my promotion or whatever, I don't care if anybody likes it. Then why did you post it? Why? Because I can. But why would you do something you just can that you don't want acknowledgement for in a space where acknowledgement and engagement is its sole purpose? It makes absolutely no sense. So if you're one of those people who said that, shut up. That's not it. You post because you want somebody to acknowledge it. You're looking at your kid, you're like, oh, he or she is so cute. Like, somebody has to see my child. Somebody has to tell me my child is whatever. I got this promotion. I need somebody else to be like, congratulations. I need this, whatever else. You post it for acknowledgement. Me, for example, on my podcast, when I post these graphics, I want to let the people know I got a new episode coming. Or when I post my streams, like my second day streams for, what was the most recent episode I did? 50-50. Or no, it was Be the Smaller Person. I had like 500 streams in 2 days, which was pretty cool. Why not post that? Let people know, like, I'm on the move. Not for stunting purposes, but to help those out there who think I'm out here small timing. Maybe you should jump on the train. All these strangers in all these different countries are supporting me. Maybe you should, right? But there's a bigger message here than just Mario yelling at people who don't support him, right? There's a bigger message here. Remember, if I was Joe Budden, and we're going to break down what the proverbial Joe Budden means. It doesn't just mean actual Joe Budden. There's more to it. You understand? So we spoke about what's the purpose of social media. Mario, how do you use social media? That's a great question, right? I use social media, like when I'm just scrolling down, my main purpose of being on there is obviously to promote the podcast and then look for content. There's content every single day. All you got to do is just scroll a couple of times. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's something. But if it wasn't for my podcast really just that. If it wasn't for my podcast, I wouldn't even be on social media. Why? Because I don't like the way people use it. I don't like social media. I do not. But anyway, back on topic. When I'm on social media, I look for content. If I can't find content, on the way, I see things my people are doing. Even if they're just, I don't know, a picture of me, somebody saying, matter of fact, my dog's down like 70 pounds. I remember she was talking about that. My dog Kelly, she said she was down. Support it. All you gotta do, bap, bap. Done. That says, hey, Kelly, I see what you're doing. Big ups to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Somebody got a new car. Oh, snap. Bap, bap. I see you got a new car, bro. That's what's up. That's good for you, man. You probably deserve it. And I say probably because I don't know. Maybe you just went out and bought it. I don't know. All right. Somebody could post a jar of peanut butter. I do not care. You know why? I'm just scrolling. I know that person. Bap, bap. Scrolling. I know that person. Bap, bap. You don't have to be into what your people are doing. If they're your people and they post a jar of peanut butter, guess what? You like it, I love it. You're my folks. Like, I know who you are. That's why I follow you. So I'm going to double tap your jar of peanut butter. Because who cares? You posted it there for an obvious reason to you. Or you posted it there with a purpose. It's not my job to break down why you want to post a jar of peanut butter. It's not. I know you. You're a good enough person for me to be following and to know and engage with. I'm supporting your jar of peanut butter. What's so hard about that? People take social media way too seriously for me. Way too seriously. There was one point where I used to just not like anything. I would just scroll and look, scroll and look, scroll and look. You know what I mean? And if it was something that just so happened to, I was like, that's funny. Because, I don't laugh at stuff easily. I would double tap it. But then I realized, be it your thumb or your pointer finger, index finger, whatever, I found that I got to a certain point where I was being stingy with my fingers. I was taking my not even tiresome movements of my finger, thumb, whatever. I was taking that way too seriously. I was being stingy. I was like, my fingers are, the slight movement of my fingers are way too. It's not that serious. It's not. If you're scrolling and you see somebody promoting anything, posting a picture of their child, posting a jar of peanut butter, as long as it's not anything hateful to you, disrespectful to you, or demeaning or anything of that nature, as long as it's nothing like that, who are you? What's so special about your fingers the way you can't tap and support it? I don't get it. I really don't. And I was about to skip to something I want to say, but I got it later in my notes, so I'm going to get to it. But stop taking it. It's not that serious. You have a profile like everybody else. People are on social media. We already covered to promote something or to have something acknowledged or engage with. Back to me. If I post new episode coming, I do not care if you do not listen to podcasts. Sometimes they're an acquired taste when somebody gets on here and they're, on today's, I want to discuss life and how life is just a beautiful. Not all podcasts are like that. Look at me. I got an entire different way of seeing pessimism. I'm teaching you that pessimism is synonymous with realism. What's actually going on in your life in an entertaining delivery. And a lot of it makes sense. And the only reason I say a lot of it, because it may not make sense to you, but guess what? It's an easy listen. It's a digestible listen. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not out here dropping nonsense. There's people out here talking about hypersexual things. You know what I'm saying? But that may pique your interest. And what I'm doing may not. But guess what? You know me. You know me. It's either I'm your family. Ooh, we're going to get to that. It's either I'm your family, we went to high school together, or you just know me, or we're cool off social media. Why are you not engaging with my stuff? Who are you to not engage with my stuff? Why do you know me? Why do you know me if you can't engage with my stuff? You see, I'm trying to get this off. I get paid off of social media. Not social media, but off of my podcast. I get paid off of it. You want to affect my pockets? Why? What if somebody's selling dogs, selling puppies? Even if you don't want a puppy, if they post something, guess what? you double tapping and engaging with it, commenting on it, you can even just throw a fist up. You doing that is going to push them through the algorithm. You know that. You know that. But you don't care because you take your fingers way too personal. All right? Now remember my saying, if I was Joe Budden, and we're going to get deeper into that, all right? So let's keep it moving. I want to get to this next piece. And just all of the qualms that I have, right? But I wanna explain the Joe Budden, right? So I ain't calling no names out, but I've had people who I've been involved with this whole podcasting game. Be it I asked you to be on an episode, I may have asked something of you. And here's the thing, I don't expect support and don't give support. So if I expect support, for damn sure I've given support. You understand what I'm saying? And there are just so many people, right? And I may be exaggerating, there's a couple of people, but there's a couple of people that I've ran into that I've either asked to be on the podcast, and it just seems laborious, right? Or laborious, my bad. It just seems so laborious, right? Or you were with me at one point and then you just start falling off, right? Or you were so committed at one point and then you just start falling off because you're like, it's just Mario, right? But my saying, if I was Joe Budden, holds true, because if I was Joe Budden, or if I was on a Joe Budden level, you'd be calling me. I wouldn't have to call you. I wouldn't have to follow up with you to get on my podcast. I wouldn't have to talk to you the day of and find out, hey, Mario, I ain't even gonna be able to make it. And here's the thing, people do this so easy. People just do it like it's a walk in the park. People do it like it's nothing. Yeah, sorry, man, I can't make it, you know. Or sometimes they don't even say sorry, like, bro, I can't even make it. I ain't gonna be able to do it. You can catch me on the next one. Why? Because I'm Mario. But if I was Joe Budden, people will clear the entire schedule out to make sure they do it. Why? Because I'm up already. I'm on. If I'm cool with Mario, I get to enjoy the spoils of what Mario is doing. Because I know Mario's a good person, right? But when Mario's down here, oh, I don't care about that. But when Mario's up here, I care about that. All right? Now let's take it out of personal context, right? Let's make it very general and more digestible to appeal to other people, possibly you or somebody you know, or possibly somebody who you're treating like Mario instead of Joe Budden, right? Check this out. It is human nature for people to want to attach to something that's already moving, it's already in motion, or something that's already up, and something that's already successful. It is a terrible, it is a terrible emotion or a terrible initiative people have to do this. It's absolutely terrible. Why? Because you need to learn to support people in their beginning stages. Y'all do know Joe Budden wasn't always Joe Budden, right? There was one time where he was Joseph Budden the second or whatever. There was some time when he was an absolute nobody. There was a time when podcasting wasn't even on Joe Budden's mind. But then we had what? Pump It Up. And then they were like, oh, snap. We're going to call him Joe Budden. Like, he's Joe. Like, so now he's starting to become somebody. So now, you know, he got the streets buzzing with his single and whatever else. Everybody's on it, right? Hold on, let me check something. All right, we good. So then after that, he's like, after that, he starts buzzing. And then, you know, his music career goes, you know, he's known as a lyricist, he gets all this whatever. So now Joe Budden's a celebrity, right? And now people are, oh, I knew Joe Budden, I knew Joe Budden, oh snap, blah 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 blah, all this stupid stuff, right? But nobody was worried about him. And I'm speaking of the podcasting standpoint, you know, because I do podcasting, so that's why I use him specifically. Because if Joe Budden drops an episode and he reaches out to some of the same people I spoke to, some of the same people that flaked on me, right? You know what they're doing? Oh yeah, Joe, I'm coming. Hey family, you know that thing we have scheduled? Don't worry about it. I'm going to the Joe Budden show. Hey, work? I ain't gonna trip on nobody doing nothing with work. But hey, other person I know, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to make it. I'm about to go handle this thing with Joe Budden. You know what it should ultimately be about? It should be about respect, right? It should be about respecting somebody's effort. It should be about respecting somebody's utilized resources, right? It should be about respecting somebody's time. It should be about respecting the person that you are dealing with, as long as they deserve that respect, right? So when I said supervillains are created every single day, it is because of this matter right here alone. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard stories about the celebrities who, obviously, or the situation where they start as nobody, which a lot of people do, right? And then they grow into the celebrity, and then they start ignoring fans, or they'd be like, oh, I was his manager, and then now all of a sudden he don't mess with me no more. He just left me in the dark. Or I was his friend, I knew him all his life, and then all of a sudden he doesn't talk to me anymore. Why do you think he doesn't? It's probably something like this. Y'all probably created a supervillain. Y'all did not support that man or woman when they were on the come up, and when they came up, now you want to reach back out. Now you want to be on the podcast. Now you want to, now you want to follow them. Now you want to get backstage passes to their show or whatever they're doing, their tour, whatever it is, right? Because you created that. Now could there be a better response to them doing that? Maybe, being the bigger person. We all know I don't support that. I don't. Be the smaller person. And that's exactly what time it is when people don't do that. I'm here to tell you right now, I don't plan on feeding my children off of podcasting, but if the opportunity came up, then sign me up. You know what I mean? I have a separate career. However, podcasting is something I enjoy, and there is an avenue for it. And I know I have the makeup to keep it moving. But I tell you right now, live on air, the 18th of December, if this podcast thing blows up, and I'm sitting with Joe Budden, or I'm sitting on The Breakfast Club, or I'm sitting on No Jumper, and I'm on wherever, and you flaked on me, you'll notice that I'll stop calling you, and I'll stop reaching out. I'm telling you right now, you can wrap it up. I'm going to be so nasty. I'm going to be so nasty. I have been made a supervillain. Telling you right now, I don't like that. I do not take these so serious that when I see somebody posting something on social media, I can't or I can't share. This is what I do. Everything I scroll past, my people are doing. If I follow you, you follow me. Scroll. I'm liking everything. Why? Because what is it going to hurt? What is it hurting me by acknowledging what you post? That's the reason you put it there, right? So that's what I do. Now, I do have a core group of people on social media who support the Pessimologist podcast, and I appreciate y'all. Y'all know who you are, so I'm not about to sit here and throw out these names. These people support, share, comment. They do everything you're supposed to do. And that's another good point. Let me bring that up. It is 2022. Technology. We got it. You remember back then to support people, you used to have to give money. You used to have to show up certain places. You used to have to physically do something to go support people. Back in the day, right? You don't have to do that anymore. You can support people. You can make people famous. Blow people up. Beep, beep. Hey, good episode. Or I like that song. Do. Comment. Guess what else? Share. Boop. You can make somebody a celebrity with this right here. It's easier than it's ever been before. Y'all ain't trying to support nobody. Boy, y'all are so selfish. And then here's the crazier part, right? You post stuff and you want it to be acknowledged. You want your stuff to be acknowledged. And I post something. And I'm speaking in general now, not just Mario anymore. I post something. You don't like it. You see when I like it, whatever my profile name is, you see. But then when I post, you don't like it. Think about how selfish. Think about how selfish you are. You're not trying to sell anything. You just want somebody to see your kid. You just want somebody to see the renovations you did to your house. You just want somebody to see your kid got a good grade. You just want somebody to see your new shirt. I'm actually promoting my business, the Pessimologist Podcast LLC, or whatever rap artist. I do not care. I have people supporting my podcast that don't even listen to podcasts. Holy freaking. I got people supporting my podcast who don't even listen to it. But you know what? They're like, Mario, that's my boy. I'm going to share stuff. I'm going to comment. I'm going to like. And I'm going to subscribe to his podcast. They do. Which reminds me, find me on YouTube, Best of Just Podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. Stop playing with me. Like, comment, subscribe. I got 20 subscribers on YouTube. But I have over like 10,000 streams on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It makes no sense. I have more than 20 people I'm following on Facebook. Where are y'all at? Doesn't make any sense. It just absolutely doesn't make any sense to me. Also, I did a little tiny experiment the other day. I was like, you know what? I made a post and it said, what did it say? It said something to the effect of, you know, if you like, comment, you know, share my post, it's not going to blow up, I promise. Like, I did an experiment, right? And I put it in my stories specifically. Why? Because, and before I say that, right, I'll post a lot of things. Like, I'll post it on my wall. I used to do a lot on my wall, but you can't see who sees your stuff on your wall, right? So I'll post it. Next thing you know, a month later, I have like 5 likes. Out of control. I follow over 30 people now, right? Follow over 30 people. And I say that because I did a huge chop. Let me add context. I had like 500 friends on Facebook. And sometime I was talking to my brother, I think it was earlier this year. He was just telling me how he got rid of a whole bunch of unneeded people who don't engage with anything he does, people he probably doesn't even speak to anymore. And he cleared the deck. I was like, man, that's a great idea. I got a whole bunch of people who, my whole purpose for being on social media is my podcast. So I got a whole bunch of people who, you know what I mean? A whole bunch of people who don't even support it. And this is my whole purpose in being here. So I was like, I'm about to clear all them people out. So if you got deleted and you listen to my podcast, I mean, nothing personal, but you don't engage at what I'm doing. If you stream my podcast and you know what I mean, you support me that way, then you should have been liking the post. So I know that. I don't know that. So that's why I cleared the deck. So now I have like, I think I only got like 70, maybe 100 followers, right? And I was like, that's going to tell me who's really doing whatever. But anyway, so that was where the chop came from. So I was like, I'm still only getting 5 likes and whatever, and I'm following however many people. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and post that one that says, if you like, comment, share, it's not going to explode, I promise, in my story. So I can see who sees it, but still chooses not to engage. Do you know I had like a whopping 17 people, I think, who saw the post. And you know, only 2 or 3 liked the comment still. How are you still? I called you out. And the way I posted it, and I might see if I can throw it in the video, I highlighted the words like, share, blow up, promise, these keywords you have no choice but to read, to let you know that if you look past this post, you're choosing not to engage with me. You understand what I'm saying? And they still do it. So that cleared everything for me. That let me know everything I need to know. I was like, I still got some people I need to get rid of. Here's the thing, man. Support people from inception. You don't have to give money. What's wrong with supporting people? You take yourself way too serious. But then you turn around and post something. Be real with yourself. Y'all really got me on this one. Y'all got me. Y'all got me. I don't want to go forever, man, but I just want to say, y'all need to be able to get over yourself and just really support people. See the reception that's on the way out? Y'all take it easy.